Melissa Wortman is the Executive Officer of the New South Wales Agri-Food Industry Training Advisory Body. It's a not-for-profit organisation who receives funding from the New South Wales Department of Education. The ITAB provides the primary source of advice to the department on skill shortages in the beekeeping industry. Melissa has worked in the vocational education and training industry for over 20 years in numerous industries such as utilities, forestry and agriculture. Melissa has been responsible for getting the new Certificate 3 in beekeeping available for the HSC in New South Wales, which she will tell you about now. So this may interest anyone you know who want to be beekeeping from high school. Thank you, Melissa.
Good afternoon, everyone. I know I'm not stopping everyone from having their lunch, so I will be quick. So this is basically a presentation more about education and really about focusing on people who have got grandkids or kids who might be interested in doing beekeeping for their HSC. But I'll just do a quick run through. So basically, I work for the New South Wales Agri-Food Industry Training Advisory Body, and we cover a whole range of industries, and obviously beekeeping is one of them. So I've been asked I am a sort of a beekeeper myself as well. I've got a beehive in our backyard and we do harvest our honey. So I have got some understanding of beekeeping. So they're some of the industries that I look after. So we advise the New South Wales State Government on workforce development. We identify skill shortages and reporting to the New South Wales Government. We look at career opportunities and give information to careers advisors. So I've basically got access. Last Friday I did a presentation on agriculture and opportunities in beekeeping to over 450 careers advisors from around New South Wales. So they're all very interested in finding out what the latest skill shortages are and where there's opportunities. Obviously, beekeeping is one of the areas we talk about. We also lobby the state government on training initiatives and also promote funding opportunities. Some of you might have been doing that pest and disease. Have people been doing the pest and disease courses with Bruce? Well, anyway, the ones that have, that funding has come through via me and the ITAB through the New South Wales State Government. So we basically are the voice of the beekeeping industry to the Department of Education. And most of all, we establish traineeships for qualifications so that students in New South Wales can actually do that as part of their HSC, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So most of you, I don't know, is everyone familiar with the new Certificate 3 in beekeeping? That's where all these units of competency and where people are going to learn how to actually be professional commercial beekeepers. And they're some of the units that now are nationally recognised. So wherever you go in New South Wales or across Australia, they're the units of competency that you're going to learn. And everyone has to recognise them wherever you are in Australia and often overseas as well. So those units have been established by professional and amateur beekeepers. So whatever you learn in there will be, information that will be current and will be up to date and also potentially paid by the state government. So traineeships. So this is basically targeted at, you now can do traineeships in rural operations, but also the Certificate 3 in beekeeping. You've got to do 18 units of competency, which is a 13 core, which I just put up on the board, and then you get an opportunity to do 5 electives, and that could be something like artificial insemination of a queen bee, which is one of my favourite units of competency. I love to tell the department about how complicated our industry is. And the other one is treat rectal prolapse in pigs. So we have a large competencies that we need to talk to the department about. So both of those are available as school-based traineeships. So kids now, for the first time, for a couple of years now, are able to do it as part of their HSC. And we'll talk about that in a minute. So basically why I'm presenting to you is what is a traineeship, and these are benefits. So the student basically gets a nationally recognised qualification, we just talked about. They can earn and learn on and off the job. So this then becomes, rather than working at Coles part-time while they're doing their HSC, they can actually do beekeeping units and work for an amateur beekeeper or professional beekeeper, and they can earn money while they're actually doing their course. So it's a really important, and they learn valuable skills and work experience as well. And basically, the really good news is that as of the 1st of January, the New South Wales State Government has decided that all traineeships are going to be available free of charge. So up until now, it used to be $1,000, but it's actually fee-free from next year. So even if your person has left school, if you've got a child that's left school and now looking to do a qualification, they actually can do a traineeship and it'll be free of charge. So that's really good news from the state government's perspective. So I just wanted to quickly talk to you about the school-based traineeship. We launched this in Grafton and Austenville in 2017, and we actually have 7 students throughout New South Wales doing it as part of their HSC. It contributes to 4 units of study to their HSC and potentially up to 5 units. So if you've got a grandson or a granddaughter or a child that actually wants to be part of your business, they can potentially stay at school and do that as part of their HSC. And the 5th unit is actually a working in industry unit, so they don't have to do the science or they don't have to go and do geography or ancient history or whatever that. They can actually do beekeeping if that's what they're really interested in doing. Part of that role is they have to do 120 days of paid work, and it's only available in New South Wales. New South Wales is leading the charge because we've got such great enthusiasm from professionals in New South Wales. They've really been keen to get that up and running. So I get calls from all over Australia saying, oh, we'd love to do this in Queensland, we'd love to do this in Western Australia, but New South Wales is the only state at the moment who's actually offering doing beekeeping as part of your HSC. The training, the good news is the training is very targeted. So the students are only going to be learning from a number of people, and that's basically Miskell and Bruce White. So you're not going to get someone doing the training who has got no understanding of beekeeping. Actually, Bruce has got over 40 years of experience. So I challenge you, I know this is all very contentious, but I challenge you to find someone else in the room in New South Wales and potentially Australia who's got more understanding and experience and knowledge about beekeeping. So when we tell that to the department, and often school students, they're very excited to know that Bruce is actually delivering a lot of the training. And of course, Miskell's writing all the resources. So we've got two good professionals doing that. And as I said to you before, at the moment it's actually free if you're doing it through a public school system, but now as of the 1st of January, as I just said, it will be free across the board. And we've now had the first student now graduated with their HSC doing Certificate 3 in beekeeping. I just wanted to show you. So as I said, this was launched in 2017, and this young boy here, his name is Fox Klepp, and he's basically, and that's his father in the middle, who's employed him as a trainee through school. He's done that through his HSC, and he's the first one to graduate in Australia. So we also have got a really good deal. Ecrotech is an organisation that is a bee supply company. I'm sure a lot of you know. They have been generous, and they have been giving all the school-based students free bee suits, free hive tools, as part of their school-based traineeship arrangement to encourage, because obviously we need to encourage young people to do school-based traineeships in order to the next generation of our beekeeping workforce. So this is everyone up at a commercial beekeepers up at Austenville on the far north coast. So yeah, we had a really exciting day. It was reported in the Land, and as I said, I had phone calls from all over Australia where people are wanting to do this qualification. Just quickly, I know this might be a bit, so if you were an employer and you decided to take on someone, it's about the benefits of the traineeship. The fees at the moment are capped at $1,000, but as I said, the 1st of January, it will be free. There's also other concessions. So if you need to have travel concessions, they have concessions, that sort of thing. If you are eligible for payroll tax, the Office of State Revenue will exempt you from that. You're often only paying these students also, roughly it's under the pastoral award, so it's about $9 to $10 an hour. So if you've got a business that's looking to grow and you want to employ someone and train them as well, you're really getting heavily subsidised wages as far as that's concerned. So it's really something to think about if you've got a business that you want to encourage people to do training. But however, the benefits are primarily for new entrants. They're not really available for people who have been working in the industry for a long time and then decide to want to get their qualifications recognised. There's other means of doing that through the state government. Just one more thing. Also, if you would take on a young person, you also might be eligible to get incentive payments. So there's like $1,500 incentive payments from the federal government once they commence the traineeship, and also halfway through that, and also on completion. So there is a lot of financial benefits for people to do traineeships and taking on a young person. So not only is the workforce growing and you're giving a young person a chance to learn something about beekeeping, you're also going to be financially rewarded by the federal and state government. So something really to think about. And this is probably, that's about the level of money that you'll be getting: $1,500, $750, and then $2,500. So apart from getting, and that's just to take on the person. That's not about training and delivery. That gets paid for as well. So I won't keep you from lunch, but that's my details. If you want to know a bit more about this or how to get involved, come and see me. I'll be here for a few hours for today. But also Bruce White is delivering this, and Miskell. So if you're also interested in doing this, or if you've got a commercial beekeepers that might be interested in doing this, come and see us, because we're always looking for new talent to get involved in the beekeeping industry. So that's all I have to say. If anyone's got any questions, I'm more than happy to take them, but I'm also happy to see you at lunchtime and have a chat. I've got some cards here as well. So congratulations on a successful conference. I'm sure it's going to be a wonderful day, and go and enjoy lunch. Thanks.